Welcome to episode 2 of the Prepare to Prosper podcast, where we talk about how to prepare today so we can prosper tomorrow. And today we're going to start the first of 3 podcasts where we lay down like a fundamental foundation for what we're doing to build on for the future. Remember, we're sticking to core fundamental stuff, so these first 3 things are very foundational. So today we're going to do what is preparedness. So there are lots of people, lots of different YouTubers and podcasters have a lot of different definitions that they go by. One is to perpetuate normalcy. Some people just say waking up tomorrow, not dying. Those are kind of simplistic. I don't know if you heard that, but that was a loud thump somewhere in the house. We need to investigate that when we're done here. Preparing to deal without systems of support. That one's actually not a bad definition. I like what definition that I kind of using is having what you need when you need it so that you can have a better life no matter what happens. Whether bad things happen or good things happen, you have what you need when you need it. It's not self-sufficiency. Not necessarily, and it's not necessarily self-reliance. So self-sufficiency is being able to grow all your own food. Well, you can only be so self-sufficient. You can't grow your own vanilla beans. Well, I can't anyway. I can't grow my own bananas, and the kids like banana bread. I can't really, on the amount of land I have, grow enough wheat to feed us. But we can generate a bunch of our own food and can and store our own food and build community to be able to get more food. And also design our income. And this is going to be a long-term thing we're doing. Design our income so no matter how the economy is doing, we're able to still have enough money to buy food and then the extra stuff we need. And I plan on talking about that more in the future. I want to bring on some interview guests, and I got a couple that I'm thinking about reaching out to once this podcast matures a little bit, and I figure out how to do interviews, and bring 2 or 3 people on that can help talk to us about how to build more resilient income. But anyway, we can't be completely self-sufficient. Nobody can. You're not going to be able to do all the stuff everybody needs. Takes around 250 people to do that. That's it's called Dunbar's number, and yes, it'd be great if to have a preparedness group that has 250 people in it, and everybody has their own specialties and can do this, and you live in your own little community and stuff. But that's really rare and hard to find. And even most prepper groups that have their own little community where they all live near each other, at least some of them, usually most of them, have outside jobs. Because they still have to pay their internet bill, still have to pay their taxes, that they still need to buy gasoline, stuff like that requires outside income. You could theoretically generate enough stuff on your own in that community and sell the surplus for money, and we're going to be doing some of that. Like we're going to be increasing the quail flock come spring and selling the quail eggs. Not this spring, but by next spring, we want to have a plant nursery business and a few other little businesses that will start bringing money into our household that's not us going to get a job. But like I said, we won't be able to do that to supplement or to replace our jobs entirely from those kind of farm activities because we don't have we live in a suburban lot. We only have like a third of an acre, half an acre maybe. Anyway, self-reliance. It's not being self-reliant. Self-reliant is having everything you need. You don't need anything from the outside world. It's like self-sufficiency is be able to produce everything on your own. Self-reliance is to have everything on your own. Well, if you have 3 months worth of food, you are 3 months self-reliant. But if you lose your job or the government collapses and there's no country left and zombies or whatever. I don't think it's going to get anything like that. Um, that bad. It could, but I don't think it's going to get that bad. But let's say you have 3 months worth of food, and for some reason, the you can no longer go out and buy food because a zombie will eat your face. So the moment you crack open your first bucket of food or open your first Mountain House packet, you start a clock. And in 3 months, if you only have 3 months worth of food, and you're right about that 3 months worth of food, in 3 months you start starving. So it's not necessarily being self-reliant. It's having some self-reliance, having that 3 months worth of food, but also building a community and having other resources and knowing people and stuff like that, so you can keep bringing in supplies. Yes, that 3 months worth of food will get you by, but let's say that you lose your job and for some reason you can't get unemployment. So instead of getting that 3 months worth of food, that 3 months worth of food now lasts you 6 months. If you can have some money coming in. Let's say I lose my job, Sarah doesn't lose her job, and we're bringing in a little, or just living off of her income. Having the 3 months worth of food means that maybe that 3 months becomes 9 months or 10 months or 12 months because we can still buy food. Also, in a situation like that, if we just need to put new tires on the car, we could use some of our food storage. Instead of going to the grocery store, we just went and bought some fresh vegetables, some extra meat and stuff like that. And that got us by the 2 weeks between grocery trips, so we could easily afford to buy new tires. So I hope that explains what the difference between self-sufficiency and self-reliance is. And I hope that you understand that we're not trying to be completely self-sufficient. We're not trying to be completely self-reliant here. Preparedness is having what you need when you need it, so that you can maximize your life right now. I really like that. Maximize your life, yeah. But I don't think. Let me try to figure out how to word it. So having 2 years worth of food be great, be awesome. I'd love to have 2 years worth of food. But and let's say I have 2 years worth of everything. That makes me self-reliant for 2 years. But again, that starts a clock. So you need to have some self-sufficiency, some ability to grow and produce your own, and some self-sufficiency in producing your own income, and also some self-reliance in having that stuff, so you don't have to rely on preparedness groups or stuff like that immediately right away. Because if we have another Great Depression, soup kitchens had trouble producing enough in the Great Depression to feed everybody. If that happens again, having some of your own food, so on days you go to the soup kitchen and they don't have any food for you, you can eat your own food. Stuff like that helps stretch out everything. And if everybody was like that, the soup kitchens could produce, or wouldn't have to be strained so hard. But also, so we're partially self-reliant and partially self-sufficient, but we build on that and rely on our groups and stuff like that. And in the next video, we're going to talk what to prepare for, what disasters we need to worry about, stuff like job loss. It's common stuff. Job loss, your spouse getting sick, flat tire, your well pump breaks, stuff like that. It's not zombies and solar mass ejection or an EMP or any of those things. And then that'll give us a basic on what we need to prepare. So we know what preparedness is now. Then we're going to go with that, what do we need to prepare for? How we know what the most common likely things that are to happen to us are. And then the week after that, episode 4, we're going to start discussing where to start preparedness. So let's say you're one of these people that have no food stored. You eat out or do Uber Eats or whatever every single meal, and the pantry that came into your house, you've converted it into a walk-in closet because you don't need food. So we're going to say starting there and working our way up to having a preparedness group, having some stored food, how to know how much stored food you need, having stored water, all the basics covered. And then after that, once we get this foundation laid, we're going to start doing the fundamental stuff. How do you store water? How do you store food? How do you be able to provide power for your house? How do you be able to provide backup heat? So on and so forth. And then we're going to go into stuff like building a bug out bag. What should be in your bug out bag? What shouldn't be? And other stuff like that. Vehicle kits. And we're going to go through these slowly, one at a time, very small chunks. Stuff that you can get started today and work on through the whole weekend. And then maybe into the week. And get most of the stuff done in 1 week. Now, some things will take longer, but we can get that basics. Like, it's going to take you a long time to store. If you want to store 3 months worth of food, it's going to take you a while to store 3 months worth of food. Maybe a year. It depends on how much money you have. Maybe 2 years. Maybe 6 months. I don't know. But if you want to store 3 months worth of food, you're not going to do that in 1 week. Unless you have enough money just to call up Mountain House and be like, hey, deliver me a couple of pallets. But most of us can't do that. But what we can do is, over the weekend, come up with a plan, and then over the next week, start implementing the plan and getting it into practice, and then building on that food storage. And then the next week, we'll learn how to store water. And then we'll start, over the weekend, coming up with our water storage plan, and then start integrating water storage into our lives. So I hope this helps. I know I was a bit rambly and stuff. This is only the second episode, and I'm still learning how to do this podcasting thing. So I hope you got something out of it. I hope you come back to the next episodes so we can get this foundation laid and then start working on the fundamentals. I'm not as far prepared as I want to be, so these fundamental things aren't just for you, they're for me too. So I hope you come back next time. And remember, we prepare for today so we can prosper tomorrow.